The Pittsburgh Steelers made a significant decision in the 2025 offseason. They chose not to re-sign quarterback Russell Wilson. This brought an end to Wilson's brief tenure in Pittsburgh. Wilson had joined the Steelers just the year before. Despite his desire to stay, the Steelers opted to go in a different direction. The Steelers' decision was influenced by a number of factors. These included Wilson's performance, his age, and their pursuit of other quarterbacks. The Steelers were looking for a long-term answer at the quarterback position. They did not believe Wilson was that answer. Wilson's departure marked the end of an era in Pittsburgh. He had brought a level of excitement and experience to the team. However, his time with the Steelers proved to be short-lived. The Steelers' decision to move on from Wilson signaled a new chapter for the franchise. They were ready to rebuild with a younger quarterback at the helm. The Steelers' front office recognized the need for a fresh start. They were committed to finding the right quarterback to lead the team into the future. Wilson's departure opened the door for a new era of Steelers football. Russell Wilson's 2024 season with the Pittsburgh Steelers was a tale of two halves. The season began with promise. Wilson led the Steelers to a 6-1 record. He appeared to have regained his Pro Bowl form. Fans were optimistic about the team's playoff chances. However, the second half of the season told a different story. Wilson's performance declined. The Steelers struggled. They finished the season on a 5-game losing streak. The Steelers limped into the playoffs. They suffered a lopsided loss in the wild card round. Wilson's decline raised concerns within the Steelers organization. Some believed his skills were diminishing. They questioned whether he could still be a winning quarterback in the NFL. The Steelers front office had to make a difficult decision. Should they stick with Wilson or move on? The Steelers ultimately decided that Wilson's late-season struggles were a sign of things to come. They felt he was no longer the elite quarterback he once was. This played a significant role in their decision to let him walk in free agency. The Steelers were ready to turn the page and find a new leader for their offense. The Steelers' decision not to re-sign Russell Wilson was also influenced by their pursuit of other quarterbacks. The Steelers had their eyes on several younger options. They believed these quarterbacks had a higher ceiling than Wilson. One quarterback the Steelers targeted was Justin Fields. Fields had served as Wilson's backup in 2024. He showed flashes of brilliance. The Steelers saw him as a potential franchise quarterback. However, Fields decided to sign with the New York Jets. He was seeking a starting opportunity. The Steelers also explored the possibility of acquiring Aaron Rodgers in a trade. Rodgers, a 4-time NFL MVP, was seen as a potential missing piece for the Steelers. However, the Green Bay Packers were unwilling to trade Rodgers. This left the Steelers without a clear-cut option at quarterback. The Steelers' pursuit of other quarterbacks demonstrated their lack of confidence in Wilson. They were not willing to commit to him long-term. They were actively searching for his replacement. This ultimately led to Wilson's departure from Pittsburgh. He signed with the New York Giants. Despite the Steelers' lack of interest, Russell Wilson expressed a strong desire to remain in Pittsburgh. He had enjoyed his time with the team. Wilson believed he could still lead the Steelers to a Super Bowl. He made his intentions clear to the front office. However, the Steelers' pursuit of other quarterbacks sent a clear message to Wilson. They were not committed to him. The Steelers prioritized younger options. This left Wilson feeling unwanted and unappreciated. Wilson eventually signed a 1-year deal with the New York Giants. The Giants were in need of a quarterback. They viewed Wilson as a low-risk, high-reward option. He was eager to prove himself after being let go by 2 teams in 2 off-seasons. Wilson's departure from Pittsburgh was bittersweet. He had hoped to finish his career with the Steelers. However, the Steelers had other plans. Wilson's next chapter would be written in New York. He was determined to make the most of his opportunity with the Giants. Russell Wilson's 1-year contract with the New York Giants was worth up to $21 million. The deal included $10.5 million guaranteed. This was a significant pay cut from his previous contract with the Seattle Seahawks. The Steelers could have likely re-signed Wilson for a similar amount. However, they were not willing to commit that much money to an aging quarterback. They believed their resources were better spent elsewhere. The Giants, on the other hand, were willing to take a chance on Wilson. They were desperate for a quarterback. They believed Wilson could provide a spark to their offense. The Giants were hoping for a short-term solution. They needed to buy time to develop a younger quarterback. The Giants' decision to sign Wilson was a gamble. He was coming off a disappointing season. His skills appeared to be in decline. However, the Giants were confident that he could still be a productive quarterback in the right system. The Giants' gamble would pay off if Wilson could regain his Pro Bowl form. If not, the Giants were only on the hook for 1 year. They could move on from Wilson without any significant financial repercussions. Only time would tell if the Giants' gamble would pay off.